Hey guys, this is Maggie and I'm going to show you how to use schematics.com. A couple of you guys had some questions in class and I thought it'd be good if I just did a little bit of a demo. So to start, what you want to do is come over to paper size and you just want to select the 11 by 17 paper because this is the size of your mechanical diagram, and ideally what you would want to do is create a schematic diagram of your circuit that you could overlay on top of your mechanical diagram. So in order to zoom in and zoom out, you can use your cursor, your mouse, to do that. And so I'm just going to try to stop making everybody dizzy here and bring it to an appropriate size. You could also use these to zoom out a little bit. And what you're going to try to do is when you add your symbols, try to spread it out as much as possible over the 11 by 17 paper. But just for the purpose of simplifying things today in this video, I'm going to use a smaller area of the screen. So to start, what you want to do is you want to check out a power supply. So you're going to go to voltage, you're going to just type that into your search here, and then you're going to see a menu for schematic symbols. You're going to click on sources here, and that's going to bring you to voltage sources. So we're going to click on the voltage source, we're going to center it here. If you'd like to add a value for voltage, make sure that the voltage source is selected and that you go over to part properties. Now part properties over here will allow you to select a value. So let's just call this 120 volts for now. If you check this box here, you'll see the 120 volts appears right here on your screen. Before you add wires or anything, it'd be a good idea to add some resistors. So let's show you how to add some resistors. If you just put the word resistor in your search box here, and again you're in the schematic symbols menu, and then take the drop down passives, you'll see resistors right here. This general resistor is the first choice that pops up, so I'm going to select that one. We're going to make a parallel circuit, and actually we'll make a combination circuit, or a little combinatronic circuit as we like to say. So let me place a resistor here. I'll make sure it's selected. I'll go and add a value. Let's say that this is about 220 ohms. Unfortunately, schematics.com doesn't have a way for you to insert symbols, so you've actually got to write out the word ohms every time, which is a little bit silly, but again, if you just select this box here, it'll appear. Let me add another resistor in parallel to that, trying to space it out as evenly as possible. If I place it in the wrong spot, I can actually just use my cursor to bump it up and down or side to side, or I can click and drag. If I click there, let me add a value of 100 ohms to this one. And then let me add a third branch back here. All right, so if we click and then the value here, let's make this a 330 ohm resistor. And we'll click here. Now, obviously, if you want this R3 to go away, you could just click this checkbox and the designation R3 will go away as well. Now let's actually add in some resistors that are not vertical but instead horizontal. So let me throw one up here and another one up here. And what I'm going to do, first let me just budge this down a little bit, and then let me rotate both of those. So I'll go, instead of to part properties, first actually let me put a value in here. So I'll go to styles properties instead, which will allow me to rotate both of these babies. So let's go to part properties here and just give it a value. Let's give this 100 ohms as well. And then I'll just move over to styles properties, and I'll rotate that baby again. And at this point, we're close. We almost have our circuit complete. So there are a couple other elements that you might want to use. Obviously, you just see resistors here. The bulbs in the schematics.com menu are a little bit different than the ones that we use. We're comfortable with you using resistors and designating those bulbs in your diagram. We would just ask, obviously, that you're very specific about that. Switches are another thing that you'll almost certainly need. So I'm going to show you how to use those as well. First, really quick, let me put a couple other resistors in here. It'll just make our lives a little easier later on. So let's make this one a 47 ohm. And let's make this one a 33 ohm. All right, and we're going to rotate both of them. Now I'm just getting really fancy. So now we're going to add some switches. So all you got to do, again, it's pretty simple, is just type the word switch up into your search box, and we're sticking with schematic symbols. These hot messes down here are just going to confuse you for now. So let's click on the switches menu, and you're going to go down to General. The open switch here, the SPST, is the one that you want. You're going to click select that. We'll put one on this first branch right here, and we'll go over and rotate that one. And then we'll take another switch, and we'll place it. Let's place one here just to shut off the current to these last two branches. Let's put that up here. Now, if you want to make sure that everything's in line, it might help to like zoom in a little bit. And so that's what I'm going to do here, just real quick to make sure everything's lined up. And now this is where we start to add our wires. So in order to add our wires, we're going to take our cursor and we're just going to click until we see a little green box. Really super straightforward. Now the great thing is that basically I didn't do anything. I didn't have to click and drag. I just clicked in one spot and then I'm going to click on the next space that I want. There's already a setting in here that's going to create right angles for you. Now if I click on that leftmost part of the 100 ohm resistor there, you can clearly see that I just get this beautiful looking right angle. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go outline the outside of the circuit. Just click on the rightmost and then the leftmost of the next element. And then sometimes you get stuff like that happening, which nobody likes that. And so in order to get rid of that, you right click on it and just click delete. And then try again. So this is how this is all shaken out. Pretty easy, right? Again, just going around the outline here. And it looks nice and neat. And so then I had like that little snafu, so I'm just going to kill that, right? And almost perfect. Now I'm noticing like this is not in line, so I'm just going to bump it over a little bit. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go down here, draw this up here. It's really quite easy and it looks pretty professional once it's done, and so this is why we're teaching how to use this tool. So you might notice now we're pretty much done. So now what? So you got to save your work. If you don't save your work, and you can't really come back to it. Again, make sure that you're saved on this paper size 11 by 17 and in landscape so that it exports the PDF in that format. You're going to click Save. It's going to allow you to create a name for a new project. For your project, you can. I would recommend just titling it with your last name, and then underscore schematic diagram. Once you save it, you're going to export it. You're going to click Export. If you want to export it as some sort of image so that you can maybe drop it in an email to a partner, you can do that. That's how I've been sending you those images in your email, and it's very clean. If you'd like to just export exactly what you see here, go to Document, click that one, and you want to export the full page. If you just export the active area, it won't get you the 11 by 17 format that you're looking for. You'll click Export here, and then it'll just pop down to your downloads.